Hi guys, I'll be honest, I've never done a Facebook Live or anything like that before, so if someone can give me some sort of indication if you can hear me or see me, that'd be great. Yeah, Facebook Live is the only one that I've not managed to get on yet, so this is the first time me doing it, so if there's any way of you giving me a thumbs up or something in the comments, that will pop up and let me know. Brilliant, oh brilliant, I can see some waves coming in. Brilliant. So at least now I know it's working. That's good. That's giving me some confidence that my technology skills are on par. At least let's go with that. I realise at the moment I've got half my head cut off, so let me try and rearrange my chair. Let me rearrange my chair, and hopefully you can see me a little bit better. How about that? That looks better. Good. So if it's alright with you guys, I'll give it maybe another minute, give folk time to jump on. I realise I signed in pretty sharp, so of course let's give folk another minute to get a chance to maybe grab a coffee and get comfortable, and then hopefully I can share my story and you guys can enjoy it, and then I'd be happy to answer some questions and stuff at the end. That'll be good fun. So this is pretty cool, I'm enjoying this. I can see all the comments coming up at the side, that's awesome, I love it. So, hello there, Cor. Of course you're the first one to comment on here and see you, brilliant, love that. Hi Cindy, hi Moira. Brilliant, this is cool, I'm enjoying this. First Facebook Live, brilliant. Catherine, hello, hello. This is good fun, I could get used to this. Everyone's always so nice and friendly on Finding Your Feet, so that's always a bonus. Brilliant. Brilliant. So as I say, I'll give it one more minute, if that's okay with you guys that are sitting patiently waiting at the moment. Just to hopefully let a few more folk get in, and then you can just listen to me ramble on, and hopefully it's not too boring, and you can get some insightful knowledge from it. That's always a positive thing. So yeah, absolutely terrible weather today, isn't it? I don't know where you all guys are. I'm in Dumbarton at the moment, and it's absolutely miserable. So I think I'll be staying indoors today. Not that we've got much choice anyway at this moment in time, but yeah, it is miserable. That would be something that'd be cool. Why don't you guys drop in the comments? Let me know where you're watching from. That'd be pretty cool if you could do that, and we can compare who's got the worst weather. Hi Jim, nice to meet you too, albeit virtually. But that's the way of the world at the moment, isn't it? That's what we've got to be doing. Not as many meetups and things like that at the moment. It's tough. Ah, Bishopton, just down the road. Yeah, no surprise, it's raining there as well. Miserable. Paisley, fantastic. Hometown for me, Paisley, which is where the new fancy Find Your Feet offices are. They look great, don't they? Catherine, you're lucky that it's just overcast. It's pouring down here. Lucky you. Right. So I've given folk a couple of minutes. I think we can definitely crack on. So first of all, thank you guys for logging in and hopefully getting something from my story. So for those that don't know me, my name is Martin Perry, and I'm 26 years old, albeit the receding hairline and stuff isn't helping me out on that front. I look a little bit older, but yeah, I'm 26. I'm from Paisley, and I was born with only one limb, which was my right leg. So my right arm stops just below my wrist. So I don't have a wrist or hand on that side. My left arm stops at my elbow. So I've got like limited elbow function. But it's through the joint, so I don't have any forearm or anything. And my left leg, when I was born, I used to have like 3/4 of it, and it stopped about 3 or 4 inches after my knee, and then due to some complications and stuff growing up, I had to get like the lower half of that amputated, so my left leg now stops through the knee. So I've only got the one limb, but that's nothing unusual in this group, is it? You know, we're all sitting there with our own challenges, and it's brilliant. I love when we can all get together and have a chat, and it's fantastic. So I was quite fortunate that I was the youngest of four boys. So my poor mum had a lot to deal with. You know, four young boys running around the house. Never mind the fact that one of them was obviously, you know, myself, severely disabled, and for me, I leaned on my brothers a lot growing up. You know, they were obviously a massive support for me, similar to what Finding Your Feet is for everyone in here at the moment. You know, it's a place that we can lean on and get support when we need it. You know, so for me, my brothers, they helped me massively. You know, they made sure they included me in everything, including getting into trouble. You know, and it's just what young boys do. You know, so we had lots of fun growing up, and they were always playing sport, be it football or tag or hide and seek or rugby, or just causing mayhem, running around the streets, having fun. So we did a lot of that growing up together as us four boys, and it was great. And it's you know, it's something that obviously you take for granted, seeing your family all the time, and at times like this when we can't see our family and our friends as much, it can be a bit difficult. You know, so that's why I'm on here today, because it's great just to chat and communicate with folk, and I love doing it, you know. So hopefully things can get a little bit better in the future, and we can hopefully get out a little bit more and see each other, you know. But Corinne asked me to come on here today and share a bit about my story. So as I said, I grew up in Paisley, and my brothers were insanely competitive at everything they did. You know, as you're going to have with four young boys, you're going to be just crazy competitive, and they instilled that passion for winning and wanting to achieve in me. So I went through primary school, having, you know, my leg amputated and stuff at 10 years old. So that was a big moment in my life, because I was, you know, almost out of primary school, just about to go into high school, and then all of a sudden I can't walk anymore because I've had this big amputation, and I'm now in a wheelchair, and I didn't get to see my friends as much because of the healing process, and you know, so I was in the house a lot more, which kind of sucked, you know, especially as a young boy that was so active, and that was difficult for me. That was difficult for me at that age, because as I said, I was so active, and I just wanted to go out and play with my brothers and play with my friends, and I couldn't because I was in my wheelchair, and it was taking a long time for the leg to heal. You know, so that made things difficult, and because I was so active to do nothing, I then put on a lot of weight, and it was and that was a tough time for me. So when I finally could get up and get the leg on, you know, this new leg that had this fancy knee joint in it, I was over the moon. So the first thing I tried to do was run, and I of course fell flat on my face. Because, you know, well, you're not meant to do that on day one, but that's all I wanted to do. I wanted to run, and I ended up falling over, which was quite funny. Everyone got a bit of a fright, but I was just laughing because I was up and I was able to move, and I ended up, you know, progressing. I got the leg healed and stuff, and I went to high school, and it was when I went to high school I was able to play all these sports that I had never seen before. You know, like hockey and badminton, and all through, you know, all these sports that were included in the curriculum, and I loved it, and that for me opened up my eyes to the fact that I could play something other than football or running and things like that. So I ended up going to like the basketball team tryouts, and I think I made it into the team just for my height alone. You know, I think at the age of like 12, 13, I was already like just shy of 6 feet tall. So they needed someone tall on the court just to make it look like a basketball team. But I made it into the basketball team, and it was great fun. And you know, just playing sport on a regular basis gave me such a new lease of life, because I was active, and being active meant that I didn't feel disabled. I didn't feel like I was held back or restricted in any way, because, you know, I was competing and having fun and just enjoying myself, and you know, naturally when you do exercises, I'm sure all you guys know, when you do the classes through Find Your Feet, like the Pilates and the gym stuff, or even the climbing when it's back on, like it's awesome. You just feel great after a good workout, you know. So so I enjoyed that through school, and then I ended up playing in the rugby team as well, which I loved because you got to have a few days off school and you got to run around in the mud and just have a laugh. So it was playing for the school rugby team that I ended up getting somewhat talent spotted by Scottish Disability Sport. They seen me play rugby for my ward school, and they contacted the school, who contacted my parents, and they asked me to attend this Scottish Disability Sport summer camp, and I absolutely loved it. You know, it was one of those things where there was just so many different things to try that were new and exciting. But I'll be honest, initially I didn't want to go. And that's something that I still kick myself for. I wish I'd signed up sooner, because I just absolutely loved it. And the reason I didn't want to go was because of the way sport made me feel. As I said, sport made me feel like I wasn't disabled, because, you know, I felt like in sport there was no barriers, but yet I was to attend this disabled summer camp where everyone would be disabled, and I didn't want to be labelled as disabled. I just wanted to be Martin, and, you know, it didn't matter if I had no hands and one leg. I just wanted to be me, and that wasn't disabled, that was just Martin. And then I went to this summer camp, and seen all these incredible people. They were awesome, in such a wide variety of disability, you know, not just limb loss. There was blind, there was cerebral palsy, there was wheelchair users, there was just everything. And I realised that actually being disabled is probably one of the coolest things I've got going for me, because everyone there was just amazing and having fun, and it made me realise that actually, you know what, being disabled is not a bad thing at all. And I loved it. And on the final day of this summer camp, after trying loads and loads of different sports, I got the opportunity to try table tennis, and I was dreadful, absolutely dreadful, but I loved it. It was so much fun. And the first issue that we encountered was the fact that how the bloody heck am I going to hold a bat? You know, I'm not going to try and hold it like this between my two arms, because I'm not going to be very good. So we fashioned a makeshift, like, sleeve almost. So we got this big piece of fabric, and we wrapped it around my forearm. And as we wrapped it around my forearm, it created like a sleeve, so we could slide the bat handle into. And then the disability coaches that were there, they got these big Velcro wraps, and they started like strapping them around my arm to keep the bat on, and that led me to play one-handed, which was great, because it meant I could obviously play with a little bit more purpose, and I had great fun. And on that day, my coach, who turned out to be my coach in the end, he said to me, he's like, "Oh, you look like you're really enjoying it. Why don't you come to my club in Drumchapel, and you know, you can have fun." And so that's what I did. I went from this summer camp to a few weeks later, you know, going back to high school, and I was like, "Oh, I really want to get to this club in Drumchapel." So so off I went, and I got there, and I was at the time, I thought I was the only guy that was disabled in the hall, and everyone's playing, and they're these incredible table tennis players. I'm looking around going, wow, there's no way I'm going to be able to play with these guys. And then I got a tap on the shoulder. It's like, "Oh, Peter really wants to talk to you." And it turns out Peter was a guy that had polio, and I didn't even notice, because he was just playing table tennis so good, you know. And to see someone with a disability play table tennis to such a high standard, I was like, "Oh wow, maybe I can actually give this a shot." So I trained for a little bit, and then it wasn't long after, it was maybe like a year after, London 2012 Paralympic Games came around, and I managed to secure some tickets and go down and watch these, in my eyes at the time, these absolute gods, you know, these guys that were just, on one hand, incredible table tennis athletes and incredible people, but they were so disabled, and they just made it look so easy. And for me, that was so inspiring to see these guys just dominate their sport, you know. And I managed to see, the one day that I was at London 2012, I managed to see Team GB win 2 bronze medals, and for me that was it. My mind was made up. I was going to do everything I can to be a table tennis player, you know, because I've seen these guys just have so much fun and captivate such a big live audience, and inspire so many people. I was like, I'm going to do that. That's exactly for me. So I devoted everything I had to table tennis. You know, I would I probably shouldn't say this. I would miss classes in school, like at the end of the day, and get out early just so I could go to the club and play table tennis for longer. And then when I got into university, you know, I knew that I had learning materials online, so um, I hope no one stitches me up from this. But I'd skip class and just go train because I loved it. Table tennis was what I wanted to do, so I managed to do all right. I passed and got my degree, so I did something right in terms of studying at home. But everything I wanted to do was just driven towards playing table tennis. And then I was so fortunate enough to get, you know, after years of hard work, it took me 3.5 years before Team GB showed any interest, and eventually they said, would you like to come to Sheffield and to train at the National Centre and be part of our setup? And for me that was life changing, because this meant I was going to get the opportunity to actually play professional table tennis, and that was just such a fantastic time for me. But that wasn't necessarily the be all and end all, because it took another 2.5 years before I was finally considered what we call a performance level athlete, which is the highest level of athletes we have in the squad. So you know, so it took me, I think, from the time that I first started playing table tennis to finally becoming a performance level athlete, I think it took me just shy of 7.5 years, something like that. So that was an incredible long time, especially when you start playing at 16 like I did in summer camp, you know. So it was incredible, and to say that I'm still doing that. Okay, I'm not training at the moment because we're all stuck indoors with this lockdown. But to play table tennis for me is absolutely incredible, and I get to travel the world and hopefully inspire as many people as I possibly can, you know. And one day I'd love to make it to the Paralympic Games to show that you know, anything is possible. If I'm sitting playing table tennis to a high level with no hands and one leg, then of course anyone can play sport and anyone can do whatever they want, you know. And I guess that kind of leads us to where we are at the moment, and that's obviously in lockdown, and it kind of sucks, doesn't it? As I'm sure most of you guys agree. I remember we had just came back from a competition in Spain, and it was very shortly after the UK went into lockdown, and that was like a sucker punch for me, because usually when you come back from a competition, you've got this like competition buzz about you, and you want to go back and train even harder and do anything you can to get better for the next competition. And as soon as we got back from Spain, it got announced that, you know, not just us, of course, the whole world was going into lockdown, and then we couldn't train because, you know, you're not allowed out your house and things like that, and I felt completely rubbish. You know, I felt like I had nothing to do. I felt almost worthless. I was like, all I've done for the past like nine and a bit years now is play table tennis, and now what do I do? What do I do that I just sit around the house and play the PlayStation? What do I do with all this energy that I've got? So for the first little bit of lockdown, I'll be honest, I felt pretty rubbish. And then I started to think what I could be doing, you know, and what I could be doing was something that I love, which is of course exercise. I love, you know, running about and, let's say, just playing, you know, having fun. That's what I do for a job. It's table tennis. I just run around and hit a ball and have a great time doing it. So I looked at things that I could do at home, and that was, you know, I did do some yoga classes on my iPad, on YouTube. So I'll need to join in on one of the Pilates groups on here. I'm sure you guys will put me to shame. So that sounds like fun. I should do that. And then I looked at what else I could do, and I was like, right, well, I've got a leg there that I can use for running. Why not do that? So I was a bit nervous at first, because, you know, as a table tennis athlete, you're not really a runner. So I've often been akin to looking like a wounded bear when I run. You know, you've got this big 6'3" guy just bundling down the road, and it doesn't look very graceful at all, let me tell you. So I was a bit sort of nervous, because I knew I was going to get a lot of looks when I went out running on the cycle tracks around here in Dumbarton, and I was a bit kind of nervous about that. And it's actually been great, because everyone that I run next to, or hopefully past, or everyone that cycles along beside me on the tracks, they're all so supportive. and that gave me a lot of confidence to keep running and to keep going out. You know, I'd be running down the road, not very quick, but I was doing it, and that was the thing. You know, I was running down the road, and folk would be cycling by and giving me a thumbs up or saying, you know, keep going, or well done, and that gave me a lot of confidence. You know, the fact that people that I'd never met before were just giving me such good feedback and good energy, because they seen me do something that I love doing. You know, just keeping my body active and keeping moving and doing that. You know, so that made me realise that actually maybe lockdown isn't as bad as we all think. You know, we can all do a little bit that will give us a boost and give us some confidence, and for me, I found that to be staying active. You know, and when I'm running, it's such a great feeling, because I'm staying active for myself and my sport, but also, you know, I get to, okay, I don't get to stop and have a chat with them, but I get to go out and see people, and hopefully leave them in the dust behind me I'm not that quick, but as I go by, you know, so it's great getting out there and seeing folks. So it's little things like that. I think there's definitely lots that we can do in and around lockdown to help us feel a little bit better, you know, as I said, because I know that it sucks. It's not the greatest situation that we're in, and you know, so what I did was, my wife Siobhan, she thought I was an absolute idiot. She works from home all day, and while she was working one day, I got the exercise bike out and I moved it around into one of the front rooms and put it right outside, right in front of the window. And so she finished work and she comes in. She said, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm cycling." And she was like, "Yeah, I can see that, but why are you in front of the window?" And I was like, "Well, if I do it at the window with the window open, it feels like I'm outside." She was just laughing at me. She thought that was quite funny. But that's what I do. I cycle next to the window with the window open, so I can hear the cars go by and get a breeze and stuff and stay cool that way. And it's just little things like that bring me joy, you know, because I get my body up and I get moving, and I do whatever I can to keep active, and that gives me, you know, a lot of joy, and you know, it makes me feel like actually I'm not disabled again, because I'm still keeping active and having fun, and yeah, so I don't really know what else to say. I'd love it if you guys watching could send in some questions. Feel free to put them in the comments. I'll see them pop up and I'll answer them. That'd be great. So if you want to fire in some questions, I'd love it. You know, if there's anything that I can answer for you that will help with anything, or any ideas. Someone's laughing at me. That sounds like something Kareen would do. Someone's put in some laughing face emojis. I reckon that was Kareen. She likes to laugh at me. But yeah, it's a tough time we're in for everyone. What's your future tournament schedule look like? No idea at the moment, to be honest. Our entire sport has been shut down. We've been shut down since what's the UK in at the moment? Week 13. So we've been shut down for about 16 weeks now. So we've been off for a long time, and that's quite difficult because we don't know. Kareen's saying it wasn't her laughing. I don't believe her. So that's something that's really difficult for us, because we don't know what the future of our sport's going to look like. So yeah, so I wish I had an answer, because it would give me something to focus on, but I have no idea what the future holds for para table tennis, because the problem we have is a lot of guys and girls in our sport, a lot of them who are, you know, severe wheelchair users who have spinal cord injuries. That makes them have a compromised immune system, and the last thing they need is a virus like this, let alone, you know, they struggle with a common cold. So we have no idea what the future of our sport's going to look like, but obviously I try not to focus about that too much, because I know that one day I'll be back playing table tennis and having fun, so I just need to hope that that's sooner rather than later. Someone's asked, what's my biggest achievement? I think being the European champion. Myself and my teammates, we won back-to-back European championships. So we did that in 2017. We won the European championships for the first time, and then in 2019 we retained our title, and that was amazing, because, you know, I almost feel like anyone can win something once. You know, you can get lucky in sport. Someone can go on a hot streak, But to maintain that and to win it again, I think it definitely makes more of a clout, in terms of the fact that you've established yourself as a great team and a great player. So yeah, being back-to-back European champion, I'd have to say is my biggest achievement. Can you play table tennis at home with a wall? Not these walls. You can't play with a white ball and a white wall. And I think Siobhan would absolutely kill me if I scuffed up the paintwork, because we've just moved into this flat and it's all been freshly painted, and it's all looking pretty fresh and clean. So if I got any marks on those walls, I'd either be divorced or deaf. So it's it's not great for either option there. So laughing at me cycling through the window. Honestly, that's great what I do. That's what I do. I cycle with the window open, and then you hear the cars go by. You get a nice breeze in your face, and okay, you do get some funny looks from outside. People are wondering what you're doing, but it's what I do. I love it. It's just, I don't mind making a fool of myself. If you can't laugh at yourself, then who can you laugh at? So yeah, I love doing that. So thanks, Nikki, for owning up that it was you laughing. There's me blaming poor Cor. So yeah, apologies there. It was Nikki. It was all your fault. I got Cor in trouble. But is anyone any advice for a less active trooper? Do as much as you can. Do as much as you can, and I think you'll find a massive difference in the way that you feel and your energy levels, and the fact that I think you'll then definitely want to do some more. It's easy for me to say, oh yeah, I love doing this and I love running around, I love cycling, I love playing table tennis, but that's not for everyone. But what I would say is, definitely, if you are on the less active side, just try a little bit. Try a little bit more each day. Yeah, if you're less active, you'll be tired, and you'll feel that, and your energy level will take a hit. But you'll notice that energy level spin very quickly. You'll be tired in the beginning, but actually you'll get more and more energy with the more activity that you do. And to be honest, with all the classes that Finding Your Feet put on, you're not short of options. Even at home in lockdown, you're not short of options to attend something to stay active. And I totally think you should definitely do a little bit of what you can do. Have you taught table tennis? Yes, I have. So I'm actually in the UK. We have 4 levels of coaches. Level 1 is a club coach. Level 2 is more of like an internationally recognised standard of coach, and level 3 and 4 are more prestigious levels of basically just accolades almost in terms of prestige, as I said. So I'm actually a level 2 coach, so I am classified eligible to coach at an international level, and it's something that I love doing. I actually excuse me, I coached at the Special Olympics in 2013. One of the athletes I coached, she went on to win two gold medals, and I love coaching table tennis just because I love table tennis. But it came at a very early stage. I realised that I wanted to focus solely on myself as an individual, and to push on to try and achieve my dreams. So my coaching role took a bit of a back seat, but it's something that I definitely want to pursue when I want to look at winding down my playing career, is go back into coaching and help, because I was helped so much in the beginning, and if I can return that favour to some younger athletes, that would be incredible. If someone interested in getting into a specific sport, what would you advise them to do? So there is actually a great website out there called Parasport, and I think if you Google Parasport powered by Toyota sponsor it as one of the Paralympic Games sponsors. So Parasport powered by Toyota, you can type in your postcode and it'll give you a big list on the screen of all the sports that are there on offer, and that's great. So the Parasport website gives you a list of all the different sports, and to be honest, if you have a specific sport in mind, Google their head office and give them a call, drop them an email, get in touch with them, and they'll be more than happy to point you in the right direction, put you at the right club, or come to the right event to get a taste for it. That's my experience of sport, is if you ask, you will receive, because at the end of the day, if you're involved in a sport, what you want to do is get more people in your sport. So obviously with me with table tennis, I want to get everyone playing table tennis, but not everyone wants to do that. So if you want to try a different sport, get involved and reach out and ask them. What's this one? So Peter has asked, if he were to start playing, where should he start? Is there any club in Glasgow? Peter, there's loads of clubs in Glasgow. So the one that I go to in Glasgow is called Drumchapel Table Tennis Club. You have Knightswood, you have there's a club in the south side, you have there's loads. If you go into Table Tennis Scotland, you can look at all their clubs. But Glasgow isn't short of clubs, that's for sure. And I'm sure no matter what area of Glasgow you live in, you won't have to travel very far at all to find a table tennis club. And I'm sure they'll be more than accommodating to have a new member and to have someone play. And that's what we love about table tennis, is there's no bad players. You know, we always have divisionalised events and everyone plays against people of similar standards. So I'm going to sneeze, I'm so sorry. Sorry, not great for live streaming. Cor says, you can play table tennis in a chair. Absolutely, you can play table tennis with whatever disability. I've seen people play table tennis holding the bat in their mouth because they've got no arms, and they throw the ball up with their toes, throw it up in the air to serve. It's incredible. I'm going to sneeze again. I'm so sorry. Oh, sorry. William has asked if he'd be up for a game first time it's possible. He says he fancies his chances. He's played quite a bit in secondary school. William, everybody says that to me, that they fancy their chances. So I'll hold you to that. I'll give you a shot, that's for sure. So I know that last time I was in Paisley there was a table. I hope that it's still there at the Finding Your Feet offices. So next time it's all safe for us all to meet up and to get together, I'll absolutely give you a game, and yeah, let's do it. You know, I'll happily play anyone. You know, the more people playing table tennis, the better. So next time we can all get together, we should definitely do it. That sounds like a great idea. I don't really know what else to say, if I'm honest. We'll sell tickets. I like the idea of that. We could definitely do some sort of fundraiser. That sounds like a great idea. I seen something today actually, and it was the longest table tennis rally played with an egg, not a hard-boiled egg, a soft-boiled egg, and they had to throw and catch it between their bats, and that was 28. So I reckon I could give that a good go, and hopefully I could beat that. Maybe I could beat that world record, and we could sell tickets for that. I don't know if it would last very long. I'd either get covered in egg, or I'd get to like 29, which wouldn't last very long, so people would be a bit hard done by with their money. But we could do something. Can I play the winner? Jim, you can play the winner, you can play the loser. I guarantee that you can play me anyway. You can play for sure, Jim. We can get everybody involved. We can play doubles. We can just have a great time with it. You know, as I said, there's a table in Paisley, and as soon as we can all get together, let's do it. Let's play table tennis, and then let's have a coffee after it. Yeah, get to know each other a little bit better. That would bring me a lot of joy. It's something that I love, is chatting to folk and getting to know people a little bit better. And I've really noticed that I've struggled with that during lockdown, is the fact that I can't get out and see people and things like that, you know. And I'm a very physical person, as Kareen knows. You know, I'm a hugger as well. Kareen's a hugger, I know that, and it's something that when you can't go out and hug folk and meet folk and chat and have a coffee, it can be a bit of a downer, that's for sure. So let's make sure, as soon as lockdown's over, as soon as we can get back into the offices, we'll have a game of table tennis, we'll have a cup of coffee, maybe even a biscuit or two, as long as you don't tell my nutritionist, and we'll have a bit of a blether as well. How does that sound? Sounds good to me. Brilliant. So I think that's all, folks. But oh no, there we go. Do you get pain in the prosthetic after a match? That's a great question. That is a great question. I used to get a lot of pain in my leg as a youngster growing up. As a youngster growing up, I used to get a lot of pain. But I think that was just because a mixture of growing pains as well as me hammering my leg in the prosthetic day in, day out, you know, because I was so active. You know, so as I say, I'm fairly tall, I'm 6'3", so if you're running around and trying to hammer that prosthetic leg all the time, it can hurt. But thankfully, I think I've sort of developed some sort of like an immunity to it now, so I don't really feel pain unless I fall over, which can happen. But that's just me trying to get to the ball. It's not anything to do with my leg. So yeah, I got a little bit of pain in the beginning, but it was mainly when I was younger. Now that I've been playing for years, I'm okay. I'm pain free, thankfully. Do you run with a blade? So I run and play table tennis with a blade. So the blade doesn't have a knee, which means it's a little bit shorter, and that's just so that when I approach the table tennis table, I can get nice and low to the table, and that helps out my technique. So that in the beginning made it difficult for me to run, because when I was running on a shorter leg, it meant that I was coming up and down like this, which I still do. So when I run, I look like this. As I said, I've been akin to looking like a wounded bear caught in a trap when I run, trying to get away. So so when I run, I used to get the first couple of weeks, maybe the first month or so, I got a lot of pain in my hip from running, because it's such a different movement from table tennis. Table tennis is all side to side. So to go take that into running onto the shorter leg, I got a lot of pain in that sense. But thankfully, I know how to stretch my body. I know what I need to do in order to keep me functional. And now that I've continued to running, I'm pain free. I'm 100% pain free, and that makes that's just perseverance. I think initially when you try something new, it's going to be challenging, and one of those challenges, of course, can be that it hurts. But it's been a couple. I think I've been running for 10 weeks or something now, and I've been pain free for the vast majority of that, and it's something that I love to do, because it keeps me active, keeps me fit, healthy, gets me out of the house. So Siobhan loves that. She gets a bit of peace and quiet. So yeah, I run with a blade and a fantastic piece of kit, but in the beginning it was difficult to run with, because obviously I said it was a little bit shorter. So that was something new to me, but I got over that hurdle pretty quickly. Has anyone got any more questions? I'm happy to. I've got nowhere to be, so I'm happy to fire in some more answers. I think that's all we're gonna get. But if anyone comes up with any more questions or anything, feel free to put it in the group or drop me a message. And I'll be absolutely more than happy to answer it. Thanks for listening, and thanks you to Cor and the team for inviting me on to do this. It's been great. I've enjoyed it, and I hope you guys have taken something for it. And yeah, hopefully I can get back to normal training soon, whatever normal is. I certainly don't know, but yeah, thanks guys, and enjoy the rest of your day. Technology's great. Can't turn it off. Have a good day, guys.